Sir, I am so sorry I'm late. This is completely my fault. I just got distracted with something.
Well, I hope it was something fun.
It's getting ready for something fun tomorrow.
Oh, good. Anything you could share?
Oh, just going to Willow Beach and going kayaking with some friends, and I had to put the kayaks on the top of the car. And yeah, I just completely forgot. It's just it's that simple. There's no complicated ways of explaining it.
You're
So
good.
I'm
Are you
sorry I'm not
going?
looking like a bum. I'm all sweaty. Um,
you you look totally good. Are you going up and down the Colorado River?
Yeah, just
Nice.
not a very big part of it because it's very slow going upstream.
Well, that should be fun. That's
Hmm.
awesome. Well, I assume. So, do you have any trivia? Because if not, I got some trivia.
Why don't we do your trivia this time?
Awesome. Okay, so for everyone who's watching, thank you for joining us. If you have a question for Mike, please put it in the chat and we will get to it in the order that it was received. We're going to ask a trivia question and then go to a casino question, and we're just going to go back and forth like that. So,
Okay.
my first question for you is, and all of this, you're going to have to tell me if you see the theme around these questions. My first one is what is your golden birthday? What is a golden birthday? So, if you guys know the answer to that, put that in the chat. What is the definition of a golden birthday? And our first question comes from Technics, who says, Benny Machino, I probably just butchered your name, Benny, sorry, said that PA mandates a 3-2 blackjack with late surrender, and the dealer must stand on any 17. Do you know if any other states mandate similar rules or rules on how blackjack must be played?
Yeah, I've said this before, but good for Pennsylvania for mandating that. And they are the only state that I know of to mandate 3-2 blackjack. That's simple.
Okay. I love it when they're easy. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Otis says, is a basic four function calculator considered an illegal electronic device?
I don't think gaming has ever elaborated on what is a device. And the reason for the question, I'm sure, is that in Nevada, it is against the law to use a device to aid your chances at the gambling table. However, players, including me, have used apps to help in video poker many times. And I think that as long as it's not a cheating device, the casinos turn a blind eye to it. So I tend to think that I think a calculator at a blackjack table would look really fishy, but at other games that aren't countable, it probably would be fine.
Yeah. And I know they do consider phones an illegal electronic device. That's why you're not allowed to have your phone on the table. I think the dealer would just want to slap someone who brought a calculator to the table. Like, if you need help counting, I will tell you how much you have so I don't have to wait 5 minutes to wait for you to type everything in.
What was I going to say? I think the reasons the dealers don't like cell phones at the table is not because people are using them to help, but they're just annoying and they slow down the game and they're rude.
Okay, so let's see if you guys have any answers to the trivia. We have a couple people that say that it is on the 50th birthday. However, that's not the answer to the question, and I don't see anyone else have an answer. So, the answer to what is your golden birthday is it's when your age matches your date of birth. So, if someone was born on the 27th of any month, then their golden birthday would be when they turn 27.
Okay. So I had mine a long time ago then.
When you were,
23.
yeah, Yeah, me too. I was 16. I had the golden or the sweet 16 and the golden birthday. Okay, so our next trivia question is um, what month is the most common birthday month in the US? So, what month has the most birthdays?
Okay.
So, if
Okay, I'm going to put something in the private chat.
okay,
Um,
nope, you were wrong. It's so rare when I could say that to you. You're right about everything.
I actually once was bored when I worked for Social Security and did a distribution of births by month. But unfortunately, it's not in front of me right now. But I do know there was a general trend, which I will address after you reveal the answer.
Sounds good. And then while we are waiting, our next casino question is from Northern Jim, who says, when using your simplified strategy for blackjack, it would make sense to consider red sevens as low and black sevens as high cards. Would it make sense to consider red sevens as lows and black sevens as high cards, or to split the deck evenly?
I think that would actually make it worse. While sevens are a moderately bad card, I don't think that it's worth complicating the system to consider them. And furthermore, it makes it even more difficult if the player has to remember reds are positive and blacks are negative or something like that. So yeah, I would say I see your point, but I would oppose doing that.
Okay. And then our next question is from Yes Notes. What is your origin story? I know that the casinos put you on the do not invite list for promos. Is that when Michael Shackelford became the Wizard of Odds?
Yeah, I could talk about this a long time, but I became the Wizard of Odds, I think, in 1999 when my site was originally called Mike's Gambling Page. And then in 1999, I believe, Donald Angelini, who was a Chicago uh, gangster and mixed up with illegal sports betting, died. The article which I read mentioned he went by the moniker the Wizard of Odds, and I thought, oh, that would be the perfect name for my gambling page. So thewizardofodds.com was available. So that was the URL for about 3 years. And I kept asking the person with wizardofodds.com who was just squatting on it to sell it. And I think he was originally asking about $50,000, but through the years and wearing him down, I got him down to 5, which is where I bought it.
Awesome. And then Shane wants to know, have you ever been banned from any casinos, or do casinos recognize you as the Wizard of Odds?
I've never been outright trespassed. I have been backed off from blackjack lots of times. And I have been kind of rudely told, get out of here a few times. But I consider myself allowed to go inside any casino. I'm absolutely prohibited from playing anything on the Norwegian cruise line, which I think went bankrupt. And but I am often recognized. Oftentimes, if I'm playing, sometimes somebody in a suit will come down and introduce himself and say, I noticed you on surveillance and just wanted to welcome you to the casino, and I love your site. And they're usually very nice. I've said many times, the people that work for the casinos are much nicer to me than the players, even though the site is meant for the players.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I remember when I was a casino dealer, your site was recommended to all of the dealers. So if we ever had a question about a game or wanted to know the math or anything, we would go to your website. And I think everybody that I worked with went to your website frequently.
Yeah, that's always nice to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is a continuation. So Shane was wondering, are you actually banned from any casinos? Oh, wait, no, I just asked you that.
We already asked. Yeah, we already did that one.
I'm sorry. Shane says he would love for you to elaborate on that. How did you get cut off from promotions?
Okay, so in the mid 2000s, I was very active in tournament hustling, where I would give the casinos clean play at as low a house advantage as I could to build up a big theoretical, to get on their radar as a valuable player. Um, and and then it was mainly the MGM Mirage casinos that started inviting me to Baccarat and Blackjack tournaments most of the time. And there usually would be a $300,000 prize pool and maybe 100 players. So that right there is immediately 3,000 in equity. But I am, if I may toot my own horn, good at tournament strategy. So I think my value is probably 2 to 3 times that much. So 6,000 to $9,000 just is the value of being invited. Not to mention the whole thing was got great suites, room, food and beverage, eat wherever I want to. Practically no limit on what I could charge, and so it was a lot of fun. And but eventually I started to hear that other players doing this were getting uninvited or just being flat out told no more tournaments for you. So I was already kind of sensing that the end was near. And one day when I was in a tournament at the Mandalay Bay, which I loved, I played all the time there. Um, that In the middle of a tournament, my host said, "Mike, I have some really terrible news. I tried to fight this, but I didn't win. But after this, you're no longer going to get invited to any tournaments or events at the Mandalay Bay." And of course, all the other MGM casinos stopped inviting me too, because it's basically one big company. But that's their right. I have no hard feelings about it. I had a great time. The 3 or 4 years I did do that. So that's the kind of the short version.
Cool. Well, maybe one day we could hear the long version because that sounds pretty interesting.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we are going to do the answer to the trivia question. And the question was, what is the most common month that the most birthdays occur in? And we've had several people answer, but the person who got it right was Jack Ace. It is September.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's interesting because September only has 30 days.
Mm-hmm. But isn't it 9 months after Valentine's Day?
Yes, I'm skeptical. Is the reason usually Valentine's Day for me ends in a fight because I wasn't romantic enough. Um, but Mrs. Wizard eventually gave up on me and doesn't expect anything on Valentine's Day anymore. But it took a long time to get to that point. But I am really, really surprised, and not to doubt you, but I think I will look into this after the show because, again, September only has 30 days. And I remember once on a slow day at Social Security, I graphed number of births by um, by number of births by day of the year, and it was quite consistent, but there was a slight trend, I think, in favor of births in the spring and the fall. It was only
Okay.
like an extra 1% or something like that.
Cool. Well, I'd love to see that information. I'm always curious about that.
Yeah, I have a binder here of miscellaneous Social Security stuff in my office. Maybe I'll dig that up.
Yay. Okay, so our next birthday question is, what age can a person be called a centurion? So, what age can a person be called a centurion? So, if you know the answer to that, put that in the chat. And Mike, you are right. Got it. Okay. So if you guys know, put that in the chat. If you have a gambling question that you want to ask Mike, please put that in the chat as well, and we'll get to it in the order that it was received. Our next question comes from TSW, who says, while playing video poker at $10 single credit, I accidentally hit the max bet button. Is there any way to avoid playing that hand if that happens?
Not really, because you already would have gotten your cards. And if they were lousy cards, anybody could say made the bet by accident and free roll the casino. So, and I also, one thing I don't like about slot machines is sometimes in slot vulturing, when you're moving from one denomination to another, just checking it, sometimes just changing to another denomination initiates a bet. So you have to be careful in what buttons you press sometimes.
Okay. And then our next question is from Oregon Guy, who says, when is your new book coming out?
Okay, yeah, I think someone asked this the last show, and I submitted the book, like the final version, probably in November or December, and have just been waiting for it to get published. And then about 2 weeks ago, my publisher had somebody look at the slot machine chapter who made some suggestions, and they were good suggestions, but it got hit back to my court. And but as long as it's back in my court, I'm going to add some other material to it, and I'm going to have 3 new chapters: vulturing slots, vulturing Ultimate X Poker, and Ultimate X Keno. So I think it's really going to be it's really going to be strong when it comes to vulturing machines. And when is my book going to come out is probably one of my least favorite questions, but if forced to an answer, and my estimates are always under, it always goes over. But I'm going to have to say probably July or August.
Okay. So do I
say that? But that's that. It is what it is.
Knowing our viewers, they're going to hold you to that.
Yeah, but I do have some kind of related good news. Is James Grosjean has a book coming out on the so-called carnival games, and he says nice things about me in his book. I saw like almost a final draft of it, and he says nice things about me, and he disagreed with me on just one thing, and he, through Anthony Curtis, our mutual publisher, gave me a chance to double check my work, and he was right. So in his previous book, he takes me to task for one mistake, and so I appreciate him reaching out about our one point of departure. And before I thought that he probably didn't like me very much, but I have enormous respect for James Grosjean, and I'm glad that we seem to be on good terms finally.
Awesome. Okay, so answering the trivia question, Mo the cat got it right. The centurion would be at 100. So you would be 100 years old when you were a centurion.
No, I thought the term was centenarian, though.
I'm probably butchering it. I butcher all words. I would not be surprised. Okay, so let's go to the next trivia question. What is the last birthday a person will celebrate as a tween? So what is the last birthday a person will celebrate? It says as a tween, but it should be before being a tween. So you have your last birthday and then you become a tween. So what is that last birthday? Okay, so let's see, Mike. Yep, you are right.
Yay.
You got it. Okay, so while we are waiting for you guys to answer that, let's go back and do a few more not trivia questions, a few more questions from the audience. The next one is from Shane. Can you bring an abacus to a blackjack table? That's not an electronic device.
No, it doesn't have to be an electronic device. It's any device.
Mm.
Like, for example, a mirror. It would absolutely be a device.
Yeah. So Shane also wants to know, what programming languages do you know and when did you learn them? Did you develop the games that are on your website?
Good question. You ask really good questions, Shane. So, the first programming language I learned was in high school. It was just called BASIC, and it was the language that I guess came with Apple II computers. And I remember it had line numbers and a lot of go-to statements, and that was all I knew at the time, and I loved it. And then in college, I started out as a computer science major, and the first two courses were taught in Pascal. And Pascal, I also really like. No more. There were no more go-to statements. It was all looping, and I was really quite good at that too. And then I got into C, which I don't think I had a very good teacher for that. And I struggled with it at first, although now I love C. And then I took in a class in assembly, and that made me hate computers. I absolutely loathe the assembly language, and I hated it so much. And combined with my struggles with C, I switched majors, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. Should have stuck it out a little harder. I think that once I got the knack of C, I would have been really good at it, as I think I am today. And but I also took an elective course on Fortran, which came very easy to me. And so to this day, I mainly use C++, but sometimes I use Java and JavaScript and Visual Basic and Excel.
Awesome. So is changing your major
I
itself?
really need to take this call. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're
This is Mike.
no problem. So while we're waiting for Mike to do that, we will see what you guys are saying with the trivia question. And let's see here. Oh, okay. Yeah, we will see what you guys are saying with the trivia question. So we had many of you guys answer, but the person who got it right was Jack Ace. Jack Ace, you are absolutely correct. It is 12 years old. Very good. Okay, so it looks like Mike is done.
And I have to apologize in advance, but I have an air conditioning repairman coming over. I need to give him like 1 minute. So as soon as he gets here, I will try to get him settled and then get right back to the show. So again,
No worries.
sorry, I am just kind of not ready today.
You're no worries. When I take you off the screen, just so you know, you are mute, so we don't hear what you say.
Okay.
Okay. So Jack Ace got it right. It was 12 years old. And then our next question is what country did the tradition of putting candles on a birthday cake begin? So what country did that tradition begin? If you guys know, put that in the chat. And while we are waiting, we're going to do another gambling question. Yeah, you're right, Mike.
I have 3 in a row.
Nice. Good job. Okay, so our next one is from Del Braxton, who says, is the theme of the trivia birthdays? Yes, it is birthdays, and that's because we have a birthday coming up. Mike, when is your birthday?
It is on Tuesday, May 23rd.
Are you looking forward to it?
I'm not going to make a huge big deal about it. I'm going to do a short hike and probably just have a family barbecue.
That sounds like fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. How old are you going to be?
58.
Nice. I swear, I never think of you in your 50s ever.
I would like to think that I'm in pretty good health for my age, but I work at it.
Well, I mean, you climb mountains. You do stuff that 30-year-olds can't do. Like it's incredible.
Well, thank you for saying so.
Yeah. Okay, so our next question is from TSW. Do you know if the shuffle machines at the table games, such as Ultimate Texas Hold'em, randomize the cards going into the wheel or coming out of the wheel?
I don't know a great deal about this. I thought that the way it worked is it randomized where to put the cards in the wheel. And for those who don't know, the way a shuffler works is there is a whole spiral of slots, kind of like a tray from an old slide projector. And it'll take a card or maybe a little packet of cards and randomly determine which slot to put them in. And this is in particular true of a continuous shuffler machine. So it's kind of like the cards, it has a few cards and it randomly decides where to put it in the pack. And it may be that even when nothing is going on, it maybe, yeah, that's about as far as I can take it. Short answer is I really don't know.
What I know is I have seen a couple of those work with the cover off. They bring the whole deck into the machine, and then they do the whole randomizing cards, mixing, and everything, and then they bring it ready to be used. So when you take the cards out, they're already shuffled and ready to be used.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see if you guys have an answer to the trivia question. And David got it correct. It is Germany. Good job, David. Nice. And a lot of people are saying happy birthday. So Mid-Mo-Yo says it.
Thank you.
David says happy early birthday, Wiz. And he even gave you a little birthday cake.
Thank you.
Seth says, you are a young 58.
Yep. Thank you. By the way, did anyone notice anything different about me?
Yes. So TSW said you cut your hair.
Yeah. Oh, what a coinky dink. Yes. Let me show you what it looks like. 360 degrees.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow. When did you, I mean, why and what? And did you keep it?
So when is easy? I cut my hair on Monday, not yesterday, but no, it was Monday on May 15th. And the why is a tougher one. I just felt that with a birthday coming up, it was just time for a change. I don't, you might ask change what, I'm not really sure, but I just kind of forgot why I grew my hair long, and it tickles the back of your neck, and plus it's so hot here in the summer that I thought I would just be more comfortable with short hair, and yeah, that's kind of the story there.
Do you like it better short or do you like it better long?
I think I like the way it looks more when it's long, but it's just more comfortable being short.
Okay. Well, at least we have your videos where we could see the long hair still. So we have that in infinity.
Yeah, and who knows, I may grow it long again.
Yeah, that's the fun part about having hair.
Yep.
Maybe I'll come on this podcast one day and just have all my hair chopped off.
No, don't do that.
Oh, I shouldn't do that.
No, I like your braids.
Thanks. Okay, so our next gambling question comes from Otis. In slots for a specific game, when casinos change the house advantage, do they change the line pay, bonus pay, or probability of a bonus event, or all of the above?
No, they just change the house advantage, and it's the slot maker that figures out how to do that. And generally, the way it works is there's fewer wild symbols, but it's generally the bonus component stays the same. So all the slot manager needs to do is, it used to be that he had to take out one EEPROM chip and put in another one and report it to gaming. But with I think nowadays they don't even need to do that. I think they just need to put in an authorization code and press a few buttons, and voila, the house advantage has changed. But they still have to report it somehow to the gaming control board. So gaming knows the return of every single machine in the state, and sometimes they do random inspections to verify that machines match what the casino is reporting.
Okay. Always good to know. And then mid moyo says bubble craps. Is it rigged or random?
Random.
Easy. And Seth Black says you demand and I love your channel. But I think that might have been for Jack Ace. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay. By the way, are you out of birthday questions?
No, I got more birthday questions. Why? Do you want to ask a question?
Because if you run out, I can ask some more 60s questions.
Oh, you got more? Yeah, if you want to hop on, just let me know. I got a million birthday questions. So
Okay, so I'm going to ask anyone who got my newsletter today to recuse themselves, but I had some left over from last week. And some of these I may have asked last week, but here's number one. Who is the only person Mr. Ed would talk to?
okay, so if you guys know the answer, put that in the chat. And our next gambling question comes from Jack Ace self. Some ETG roulette games have ban bets where players bet a large percentage of the field, such as 60% coverage, saying too low risk. Why ban these types of wagers? Are they costing them in EV?
Yeah, I did not know that. I would be interested in any particular makers that do this. But I think what I might do is I might try to just bet on every single number and see what happens. But they absolutely are costing themselves money by doing this. They should be happy, that the player is making any bets at all and for any reason. And, perhaps they're worried about people taking advantage of a player reward system, but if they're giving away more than they're getting, then that's the casino's fault, and they should do that by changing their reward system rather than changing the game.
Yeah. Our next one is from Jack Ace as well. Anthony Curtis said Gambling 102 should be coming out soon in his weekly YouTube video.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear him say that, although soon can
be anytime.
Yeah, he may have a different definition of soon than other people, but I do think that he generally feels kind of badly about how long it's taking, and I really do feel that once I hit the ball back to his court, that he'll give it a high priority.
Yeah. Okay, so our next one comes from Wolf, and then we'll look at the trivia answer. When new players ask me what games are best for maximum playing time and low risk, I usually recommend Pai Gow Poker. Is this good advice, or should I recommend something else, especially with no commission?
That's a good one, but it's funny you ask this because on my Wizard of Vegas site, I introduced a betting system where maybe it's more of a strategy where the player simply switches between the do and the don't side with every single throw. He always makes a line bet on every single throw, and he just alternates which side. And this has a very low risk, and it's a great way to kill time or build up a good Theo. Again, very low risk. Now, it does violate my commandment about not hedging your bets, but commandments are generalizations, and there are exceptions to them. So if you are looking to have a very low risk way of gambling, then I would suggest looking into my so-called hedgehog betting system. Again, I talk about it right now just in the forum at Wizard of Vegas, but I'm halfway through making a video about it, and there will be more about that to come in the near future.
Okay. And let's see if you guys have any answers to the trivia question. Jack Ace says, is it Wilbur?
Yes, Wilbur Post.
Nice. Very good.
Yep.
Okay, what is the next trivia?
Okay, what were the names of the two gangs in West Side Story, which was one of the most successful movies of the 1960s?
So if you guys know, put that in the chat. And our next gambling question comes from David, who says, what program would you recommend for statistical analysis of any particular game, i.e. a Monte Carlo simulator or equivalent?
I do all my own programming, and I I just have certain code that draws random numbers. It's called a Mersenne twister that I copy and paste into every program that involves a simulation. And I can't recommend anything that's off the shelf, like an off the shelf program. Sorry. Like I said, I draw my own random numbers and I write my own code, so I can't be of much help with that one.
Okay. Shane is wondering, isn't the basic strategy card that you buy at, the gift store, isn't that considered a device?
Argument. Sorry to interrupt you, but again, I think the spirit of the rule is you can't use a device to cheat, and a basic strategy card is not cheating. It's just telling you the right way to play under the rules. Now, you might say that like a card counting program is doing the same thing, but to me that is taking it a step further, where it's taking specific information about the actual distribution of cards remaining, and it's doing complicated calculations with them, which is a lot more than a basic strategy card does.
And then we have two more questions real quick. Please tell us you still have your Apple II computer.
I'm afraid not. I wish I did. I still have all my old floppy disks somewhere. I don't even know if they still work anymore, because now they're 14 or over 40 years old.
Have your kids ever seen a floppy?
Once I saw one at a yard sale and I was so tempted to buy it, but no. In fact, one of my favorite episodes of The Big Bang Theory is Steve Wozniak was eating at Penny's Cheesecake Factory, and Sheldon got wind of this. He was at home, and he grabbed his Apple II computer and rushed out the door to get Steve Wozniak to autograph it, but he fell down the stairs on his rush out the door and broke it.
Oh, poor guy. Did you ever show your kids the floppy disk? Do they know what that is?
No, I've also never showed them a record and things like that. I think they know what a record is. But yeah, somewhere I still have probably like 30 floppy disks, and they're mainly filled with games, but also programs that I wrote.
Awesome. Okay, last question, and we'll go see if anyone has the answer to the trivia. How hot is it in Las Vegas today?
Today has a high of about 97.
Okay, that was super easy.
Yep. And by the way, we're having an infestation of locusts, I think they're called here.
Grasshoppers.
Yeah, maybe they're grasshoppers. And they mainly seem to like white surfaces. Like I went jogging the day before yesterday, and I just, they scampered like just as I was coming, and I had to run through just a whole cloud of grasshoppers the whole
Oh
time,
my.
at least the time that I was on a white sidewalk.
Yeah. I was at the Rio walking through. We were doing like the Star Trek convention. Same thing. There's so many grasshoppers. You would just walk through, and I would feel like I was a part of a Bellagio show where it's like all, whoa, and I'm walking through, and it's all, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my son drove from Reno to Vegas yesterday, and he said that his car was just covered with dead grasshoppers.
Oh, I bet. Okay, so the answer to the trivia question is it sharks and jets?
Yes, good job, Jack Ace.
Woo! Very
Okay,
nice.
okay. Next one. What is the name of the Flintstones cat? Now, some people might say I didn't know they had a cat. I thought it was just Dino. But you can see the cat in the opening credits and the closing credits, as well as a few episodes.
Okay, so if you guys know the answer to that, put that in the chat. I have no idea what the answer is. God, I can't even tell you the last time I saw a Flintstones episode.
But don't you remember all of them?
Oh yeah, all of them. I know. I could tell you each one. Yeah, the only one I can remember is the movie with Halle Berry. I like that movie.
I never saw it. Who did
That's
Halle
worth
Berry
seeing.
play?
Like his boss's secretary or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so while we are waiting for you guys to answer that trivia, our next gambling question. It's not a question. Baccarat Kingmaker says, the best of the best leaders. Salute to you all. So thank you.
If you mean me, thank you very much.
What are your 3-card poker tips for a first-time player?
Very simple. Raise with Queen 6-4 or better.
Hi, sister. Okay. So our next one is from Otis. Would you ever consider using a Martingale strategy as a means of camouflage during card counting, assuming max bet is 1,000 per hand?
No, because you want your bets to be correlated to the count, and it would be good if the count kept going up, and you could do a martingale then, and it would look kind of natural. But what if the count went down? You wouldn't want to stick to that martingale. So maybe you could do some kind of a hybrid where it looks like you're martingaling, but to some unknown amount. But you might win, and the count goes up, and you want to keep a high bet, but the martingale would tell you to go back down. So no, I would not recommend that.
Okay. And then we have a couple questions or a couple answers for the trivia question. Was his name Astro?
Nope. I think you were thinking of the dog on the Jetsons.
Yeah. How about Tigger? And I think that's Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said tiger, whereas it's Tigger on Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Tiger.
Or
Sorry.
he may have meant Tiger from the Brady Bunch.
Oh, yeah. Did you like that TV show?
Oh, I loved it as a kid. I will take on anybody in Brady Bunch trivia.
We got to do a Brady Bunch trivia. We got to do that.
I should do that one of these days.
It sounds like fun. So do you want to wait until someone gets the correct answer?
I don't think anyone's going to get this one. It's pretty tough. But
Okay.
The Flintstones cat was named Baby Puss. I don't think you could get away with that today.
No, not at all. Okay, what is our next trivia question?
Okay, who got married at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas on May 1st, 1967?
So if you guys know, put that in the chat. And our next question comes from TSW, who says, which jacks are better? Video poker is better. 9-6, no royal bonus, or 9-5 with the royal bonus. Only options in my local casino.
So what is the royal bonus? I would
It
need to
has
know that
royal.
before I answer the question. So tell me how much a royal pays um, under with the royal bonus.
Okay, and I'll look out for that TSW. Are you excited about the Golden Knights?
Yeah, so they are going to go to the semi-playoffs, and I haven't been checking, but are they going to play Seattle or Dallas? I know that they're going to play the winner of that series, which, in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, let me look it up.
Yeah, because I don't know the answer to any sports question you have.
NHL playoffs, and
All I know is it causes way too much traffic.
uh, this is not telling me what I want to know. Let's go to scores. Okay, so in the Vegas is playing Dallas in the conference finals. So far, it's 0-0, and in the other conference, it's Carolina against Florida. So, and then the winner of those two conferences will play each other for the Stanley Cup. But I believe the question was, am I excited? My excitement level on a 0 to 10 scale is about a 3, to be honest with you. Um, None of my friends seem to be very excited about hockey, and there's a contact high with sports. You enjoy it more when you're around other people that enjoy it. But you know, I should get into it. I should start paying attention. So I kind of apologize to the Knights that I haven't been following it much this season.
Are you a big sports watcher?
Not really. I have never been
Yeah.
big on watching sports. I mean, I'm not a, you know, I don't take it to an extreme. Like I enjoy the Super Bowl, but with all the ads and everything, I just consider it such kind of a waste of time. And there's just other things I would rather do.
Yeah. What is your favorite sport to play?
To play, well, in terms of like a competitive sport where you're playing against another person, I probably I would say tennis.
Okay. Mine's racquetball.
And I also yeah, I played racquetball in high school and liked it, but I just fell out of that scene. And I also like pickleball.
That's a good one too. That's really popular right now.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I played more, but it's not knowing other pickleball players, and it's just such a hassle to get four adults to agree to do anything because everyone has all kinds of erratic schedules and responsibilities. And I think I'm going to have to wait until I'm older and retired before I really get into pickleball.
Well, it doesn't help that it's 110 degrees outside in the summer.
Yeah, yeah, I probably wouldn't be playing pickleball in the 110-degree weather anyway, but the Vegas weather is really better than most people think. And I would say you can play pickleball probably solid 9 months of the year.
If anyone who's listening is wondering what Vegas weather feels like, set your oven to 400 degrees and then wait for it to like be completely done heating up and then open it and you get that rush of heat. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
So the answer to the trivia question, was it Elvis and Priscilla?
Yes, it was. Good job, Jack
Woo.
Ace. Okay. Here's the
Very
next
good.
one. In the commercials for Charmin toilet paper, who admonished people to please not squeeze the Charmin?
So if you guys know, put that in the chat. And our next question is actually from me, and it's a fun one. Are you playing the new Zelda? I love Zelda. I love playing games. I am not buying another console so I could play another game. Those consoles are so expensive. So, no, but I love Zelda. If I had it, I would definitely play it.
I loved Zelda on the old Nintendo NES.
It's so much fun. It's really
Mhm.
the best. Okay, so our next question is from Shane, who says, on the wall behind you, there is a Jack of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, and King of Hearts. Where is the Ace and Ten of Hearts?
Okay, well, I think it's meant to be just the three face cards. And that art is by Angel Espino. And if you've never heard of that name, he's the creator of a bunch of casino games like Blackjack Burnout, Poker Burnout, three card lowball. I have a number of videos of him where he explains and deals his games, but he's also um, an artist. And we did some kind of a trade of my math for that art.
Oh, that's a fun one. Okay, so let us see who the answer to the trivia question is. And I think Jack Ace got it right again. Mr. Whipple?
Yes, good old Mr. Whipple.
Nice. Now it is 3:58 p.m., so we are almost done. When is the next time we're going to do a live stream?
Let's see. How about June 1st?
Sounds good. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask Mike, please join us on June 1st at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yes No says that you have a really cool t-shirt. So thank you, Yes
Oh,
Notes.
thank you.
And yeah, by then I guess you'll be 1 year older.
Yep. The next time I see you, I'll be 58. And speaking of my shirt, maybe it says, but I've always wanted this kind of bike. Wait, this kind of bike right here.
Oh, fun.
It's called a penny-farthing. Always
Uh-huh.
wanted one.
So can you just buy it online, or is it something you have to
can
find
just
in it?
buy them from unicycles.com. I've always kind of hoped that I might find one on Craigslist or eBay, but I've been searching for several years and still haven't come across one. And I don't think Mrs. Wizard is going to be too keen on a penny farthing cluttering up the house when I already have, I think, 10 unicycles and about 7 bicycles.
Do you ever do the garage sales?
I go to them once in a while, but I haven't had one in about 15 years.
Okay. Jack A says happy birthday, and so does New World Travel Monkeys.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Well, this was awesome. It was always fun. Always fun doing this. And then I guess we'll see you next time.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Heather. And again, my apologies for being late.
Oh, no worries. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you again on the next one.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks. Bye.